Alright guys, so I've decided to call this video, I'm pretty sure I'm going to call it Show and Tell, which is real cheesy, it's not really cool, but it'll give you a little bit of an overview of all the stuff I've been working on for the past 5 months that I haven't had an opportunity to finish, to edit and submit a video for. I just like to keep everybody interested. I know that it sucks when you get turned on to a channel and then the next thing you know, they stop releasing videos, and they just kind of ghost out and fall off the face of the earth. Like I said, for the past 5 months I've been working on stuff, so this is as far as I've gotten. So these rings are cut to the right size, my crucibles sit down inside here. I had to finish a plinth so that I could get the proper heights for everything and then finalize this design. And my plan is to split these then once it's all done and the handle's made, split them on both sides, and then create some kind of a locking mechanism across the top. I just haven't gotten there yet. Life has just really been in the way, and I haven't had any time. But I have been working on stuff. It's not like I've just been a total lazy bum. I just haven't had the opportunity to commit to a full day's worth of casting. So all new copes and drags with the tapered pins so that everything aligns perfectly. I did all these with square corner adapters so everything lines up, all the corners are smooth, all the faces line up. I milled all these, I used a ball-nosed end mill and I milled all of the slots in this stuff to give the sand something to knit to. And I have two different sizes that I've made like this. There's a big one, this one I think is, I think it's 10 by 12 maybe. And then I made an 8 by 8 as well for doing some smaller stuff, just quick and easy, so it doesn't take as much sand. This one's a little bit deeper than the other ones, but not by much, maybe by 1/2 inch. So this, you know, and they're all, I tried tigging them together, but it was really tough to get everything preheated and get the TIG to work into the corner, so I ended up buying an aluminum spool gun so that I could MIG aluminum, and then I MIG'd everything else together. Haven't had a chance to clean anything up. But, like I said, I've been working on stuff, so I don't want you guys to think I've just been this deadbeat that made a furnace and spent a whole bunch of money. And here's some tongs I got. These were donated by a customer of mine. He happened to know that I was into casting, and he gave me 2 different size tongs, which those will come in handy. Alright, so I got some more stuff to show you. Some more stuff that I've been working on and finally got finished today. Alright, hopefully that's a little bit better. Alright, so you can see part of my welding helmet. Get that guy out of here. Alright, so these are my Crucible Tongs. I'll post a couple pictures of how these things started. I originally started with these 3 rings, found 3 rings in the garbage from barrels that were junk. Cut rings off of them and then sized the inside diameters of the rings to match the outside diameters of my crucible. Well, unfortunately I have crucibles. Anyway, this fits both my crucibles. I have an 8-pound graphite crucible and a 10-pound graphite crucible. Both of them fit inside my furnace. They're about as big as I can go, because you know I wanted to really be able to pour some stuff, like some serious stuff. And I know that's a lot of weight, and the likelihood is I'll probably never pour that much, but I'd rather have it than not need it, and then need it and not have it. So these are them. It started out as this frame, and then I made the scissoring mechanism. I made these pretty long because I'm a pretty tall individual, and my furnace sits on the floor, so give you a little idea. These things work just like so. I'm probably going to do a little bit more bracing in here where the actual lever point is, and build this up a little bit, because the bolts, when I ended up putting this thing together, they were really close to either side, so there's a really thin wall on the back side in here. And this, all the way over here, so this is my latching mechanism. So I wanted to have a safety put into place so that I could not ever drop the crucible out of these things. So that's my locking pin, and it's detented, so it can't be pulled out unless you push the button first. I put this small piece on the back end here so that you could only open it one way. It was like a definitive stop, because I had a tendency to not, when I first started using these things, I wasn't 100% sure about which way they opened and closed. Dumb, I know, but I figured I'd rather do that than not do it. And now that's done. And now I will show you my pouring tong, my pouring, I don't know what you would call it. It's a ring, essentially. I'll go grab it and I'll show you guys that. Okay, this is them. That's my graphite crucible. Similar premise. I found a ring in our scrap pile. Let me tilt this on its side so you can see it. So I found a ring in my scrap pile, some tubing in my scrap pile, and I made these supports. I don't think they're really that necessary. I just did them because I thought it looked different. So I machined the ring to fit the middle of my crucible. What I didn't take into account is that my 10-pound crucible is much larger in diameter than this. So I am going to have to make another one of these for my 10-pound crucible, or I may just send my 10-pound back and just continue to use the 8-pound. But this is a piece of scrap 4140 that I found to make the hook. Heated it up, bent everything. And then I decided to do like a sliding close mechanism with a similar lock to my other one. So this is going to be really difficult to show you guys on this camera. Sorry. Let's see if that works. Okay, so pop the pin out. That's also detented so that it locks. So this rotates forward, and then after some nice work, it'll scoot back and allow you to drop the crucible out. When you're locking the crucible in, you pull the ring up, slide forward, and then rotate down. And everything's detented so that it will lock into place, and then the crucible can't come out. So no droppy crucible. And I put it, I'll get you down here and see this. Here, let me get the crucible out of this thing. And that fits pretty snug. Alright. T-handle on the one end so I can grab it. Here's a little spot I put in here to park this guy when it's not in use so that it's not in the way, not just dangling. I did the same thing on my tongs because this thing ends up just flapping all over the place and it's a huge pain in the ass. But yeah, so that's it, man. That's what I've been up to. Look out, Perry, because I should be casting some bronze now here shortly, and we'll see just what I'm made of as far as the caster goes. Perry's done some really awesome stuff for me, and I need to reciprocate. He took the time to make some really cool STL files for me of some coins that have my company logo on them, and he spent some time on that, and I'd really like to make good on his efforts and cast some. So now I can cast bronze. Look out, world, we're gonna be heating this sucker up. I finally started running waste oil in my burner, and Chirpy at Chirpy's Tinkerings was absolutely correct. The difference in the heat between propane and waste oil is totally different. It's actually pretty mind-blowing. The propane seems to heat everything around the metal, and then the metal last after it's heated everything up, whereas the waste oil seems to heat the metal first and then heat everything up. It's really amazing. Really a totally different furnace when you run it on the waste oil. So we're going to keep doing that. I was finally able to melt my first piece of steel, which happened to be a nut that a plaster mold was sitting on, that you guys will hopefully get to see in another one of my videos up here if these things ever turn out. And yeah, that's it. So hope everybody has a great weekend and keep on keeping on.